Thank you for watching this race video, briefing video for the feed and water stations. And thank you for volunteering your day. I hope you have a really enjoyable time. So I'm going to try and cover today the most important salient points that you need to bear in mind. Why don't I get the good stuff over with first? This is your goodie bag that each of you volunteers will be receiving. Inside is the race briefing document, which every runner has also received, all the 1,200 runners that have entered. If you get a moment, please peruse this, because it's got some important information about the race itself, and you'll see the course details. We've got that. Also inside is a beer mug. I hope you have time to bring this empty beer glass to the race finish area on race day, if you can get there by 4 p.m, but we will be packing up after that. If it's after 4 p.m, or you want to go straight home anyway and you can't get to the race finish, don't worry, we'll try and sort out getting you a beer somehow. We're not quite sure how yet. Inside the goodie bag is a marshal bib. We would like you to wear the marshal bib, please. This is so that runners know who the race officials are. There's a coffee mug as a thank you again for being part of the Hop It Healthy team. And there's a snack or two, certainly a flat bread at the very least. So I want to talk to you about communications. So for communications on race day, there's first of all a general sort of WhatsApp channel that we're going to create, which is for some of the chit chat that you will have with your fellow water station, feed station volunteers. And this is things like photographs that you might think are fun, or informing people that the first runner has come in or the last runner has just departed. So it's interesting, but it's not emergency stuff. Emergency content, communications, we're going to use telephone, and actually we want you to speak to people. So if you are unfortunately in a position where there is an emergency, obviously we hope there isn't, but there always could be, there are three options. First of all, a medical emergency. Now, a medical emergency can be of two types. One, critical medical emergency, which is always dial 999. And they have access to the air ambulance and all sorts, so that's obviously necessary. A non-critical medical emergency, we have two first aid 4x4s on ambulances available as part of our race, and they're at different parts of the course at all times, and they can be contacted on the following number, and this will come in your race briefing pack. And also at the bottom of the screen now, 07851 381 779. So those are the medical options. For non-medical emergencies, we would ask you to contact Dave Meacock. He is the on-the-day course manager. His number is 07966 920 577. A non-medical emergency, for example, could be a runner that wants to retire. So he's sat at the feed station, he's had enough, I can't go on anymore. Is there any way you can get me a car to take me back to the start? That's a non-medical emergency. The third type of comms that you might want to give, again, this isn't the WhatsApp group, this is for an operational type issue. For example, we're running out of water, we don't know where to get more water. We think if you're feed station, we haven't got enough bananas. Or, for example, your car has broken down and you can't get to your feed station. You know, things like that is important for us to know, and we want you to phone us about that. So you call Rude on 07401 307 475, and he'll be able to spark interaction. COVID. Do not turn up if you have a high temperature or a new cough, or you've lost your lost your sense of taste or smell. Do not turn up if you tested positive in the last 28 days to COVID. And we do request and encourage you to perform a lateral flow test, if possible, 24 hours before race day. If that's possible, we'd appreciate it. Okay, so now talking about what you're going to be doing at the tables. When you arrive, the tables will be there, the water will be there, the bananas, if you're a feed station, and the flapjacks will be there, some signage will be there. So we're trying to deliver as much in advance so you don't have to worry about it. I'll talk at the end or there'll be a slide at the end which just summarises what you need to bring. There are a few things you need to bring. One of the things you need to bring is your face covering. Feed stations and water stations, please, you should wear a face covering, and we are asking runners to wear their face covering as well, their mask, when they approach a feed or water station. So this is how it's going to run, or operate. So every runner will have a collapsible cup which they get at the start line. This goes into their pocket. Now this is my Manky collapsible cup, which I've had 2 or 3 years now, and it's getting a bit floppy, and they won't be as floppy as this. But the process is that the runner puts down his cup on the tray that we'd like you to bring, please. Again, that's something, sorry, didn't do that right. The cup comes across, you fill it from your side of the table, it's passed back. Thank you, Marshall, and the runner's got his drink. Maybe I'll stay for a second drink, I don't know. So that's all quite straightforward, hopefully. We've not done this before, but we think that would work, or should work quite well. If you're a feed station, it's a similar process. Sliced banana in its skin, please bring your own knife, sharp knife, please bring your own cutting boards, thank you. That sort of size, a little slit down the side so that they can get the skin off easily. You put that on the tray. Oh, flapjacks will arrive in 90-gram bar sizes. We suggest you cut them like that. It's difficult to know what the runners will want, but like that, that's quite nice because they're still in their wrapper. So there's no COVID transmission because of touch or anything like that. So that comes across on the tray. Thank you, Marshall. They can take off their banana and run away and eat it. Now there will be a bin bag at the end of the process, where we want runners who are at feed stations to throw away any detritus that they're left with, so that we don't create rubbish on the course. I haven't mentioned yet, one of your marshals should be before the tables, and they're going to have a sanitizer which we'd like them to squeeze into the runner's hands before they approach. And there will be a sign, by the way, which says face, space, and the other one. You know what I mean. And that's their reminder. And blah blah blah. And this marshal as well, if he starts seeing, oh crikey, we're getting too many people at the table, there's a sort of unruly queue or something, this marshal can hold and should hold people back. Right, now you can go, now you can go, because we don't want people to stack up here. Again, it's a COVID concern. So I think that's probably all I wanted to cover. Let me just have a quick check. Yeah. Oh, one more thing. Yes, I mustn't forget this. A lot of runners, particularly if they run a lot of races, they have reservoir packs with rucksacks on their back. So they have they're self-contained as regards water, but they occasionally need a refill. So for the water stations and the feed stations, there should be an opportunity by putting one of the big tanks that we're delivering full of water at the back of the process, and clearly identify that this is where runners self-administer, you do not get involved, self-administer refilling of their reservoir tanks. So there's a convenient tap, and they'll hold it underneath, and then you can close it off. You may need to wipe it occasionally, but of course the runners have had the sanitizer at the start of this process, so wiping is not quite such a priority. I think that's all I wanted to say. Have a great day. Thank you once again for volunteering. We love you, and see you on the 20th of June.